Hello and welcome back to Courageously Living. I'm Tara and I have a experience I want to share with yous because I think it has a lot of value now that I'm mostly on the other side of it. I had an experience recently where there was an interaction that ended up with a verbal threat against me and berating somebody else that was with me as well. And it was in spite of setting some really good intentions for the day. And I want to talk about that. Like that, the actual incident, that's kind of being handled. There's steps being taken there. But I don't think we talk a lot about the intention pieces, and especially when intention pieces seem to kind of go awry a little bit. Oops, got my mic in my shot. When we think of intentions, we think of setting it for the best and having good things happen. And one of my intentions that I set every day is for my highest and best good and the betterment of all. And I can tell you that experience was definitely in the moment, not feeling like it was for my best and highest good at all. But I've also had some time to reflect on it and really realizing how much I have grown and how I handled that. Because I think it's really important to take those moments of saying, hey, this is a lot of growth. First of which being that I'm even on here talking about this, I would never have done before. There would have been a very small group of people that maybe knew, and that would have been it. The other thing is right after it happened, I knew I needed some emotional support. So I went and I got a hug from somebody that I really trusted. And even though like I only kind of mentioned a little bit about what happened, and I still allowed my emotions to kind of come up and I processed them. And I processed them pretty quickly from it. And in the past, I would have definitely held on to that going, what did I screw up? What could I have done differently? How could I have fixed it? And the reality was in that situation, nothing I could have done would have fixed that. But then it goes back to my intention of, well, the highest and best. And so I will admit that when I was starting to kind of process what happened, I immediately went to self-blame and said, well, what did I screw up on my intentions? And, I forgot to put an intention about having respect and being respectful to having that come back to me. And yes, did I forget to include that in my daily intentions? 100%. Was it something that I should have beat myself up for? No. And it was really fascinating to see how fast I kind of moved through that self-blame piece and saying, oh, wait a minute here. By looking at this in the highest and best way, by me forgetting an intention, which had some it forced kind of the issue, but it also allowed me to see very, very clearly what happens when I am setting intentions and what happens when I am not setting intentions. And that really is for my highest and best good. We so often, especially when we are setting intentions or when we're trying to put positive energy out or really even just think about the energy we are putting out, when something bad happens, we're immediately like, oh, this didn't work. I'm just going to throw it away. And it's not that. Sometimes things need to be tweaked. Some things need to be changed and fixed. I will definitely be putting out more, being a little more conscious on the respectful intentions as I go forward. And yes, does it suck right now that we even have to put intentions out about being respectful? Yes. And there is a shift starting with people to say, hey, wait a minute. This isn't okay how we have become allowing what is being treated to other people and treated to ourselves. So do I think we're going to have, an intention for respect for a while? Yes. Do I think it's going to be a long-term thing that we're going to have to do for years and years and years? No, because I think the energy is shifting and changing so rapidly. Things like this are going to become more and more out of favor. I don't think they were ever fully accepted, but I think they were tolerated, and a lot more tolerated. And I think we're starting to see a shift, and we're starting to see a change in even what's allowed to be tolerated. And that gives me hope. And that also leads into the betterment for all. One of the things that I actually got from Pam Gregory is always feed our intentions back to the collective so that it actually does build something better that we want. And by me having the experience, unfortunately the other person also having the experience, raising awareness in a different way, being on here talking about things that we don't normally talk about, is shifting it for the collective. And that is where it's coming in for the betterment of all. Now, is it still, important to just only focus on the positive? Well, no, because there is stuff that's coming up that has either been buried, has been beneath the surface, or even just kind of on the surface that's been here for decades or even centuries, depending on what it is. And when we're shifting, when we're changing, that energy, that vial, for lack of a better word, sometimes needs to come up and be shown into the light of these are the shadows that we are no longer willing to deal with. And we're dealing with in a fact that we're just, they're just there. Now we're like, hey, these shadows are coming up, and we're dealing with them in a very different way and saying, no, not okay moving forward. And I honestly believe that my intentions were right for the day. Did I anticipate what was going to happen? Oh, heck no. Heck no. Probably a few other choice words too, but no. But the other thing that I did is, because I sought that emotional help really quickly, I let my emotions kind of process kind of right after that moment. I was also able to have some other amazing interactions with people for the rest of the day. Even stuff that was issues and that kind of came up was still, because after that, did I set respect and stuff. Though those intentions got set really dang quick. But it still, I still was able to move in the flow of the humanity overall is good. And there would have been a time that I would have let that devastate my day and weeks and probably months, if I'm being really honest with myself. And I didn't. I chose something different. And a lot of that had to do with setting my intentions for the day, with being conscious of what energy I'm putting out and allowing negative and bad to kind of coexist. I'm not a huge fan of negative and positive, or good and bad. Still, it's about coexisting with both of them. And that is something that I don't believe we as a Western society do very much. We're either like, this is all bad or this is all good. And to play, to allow, to accept and receive the stuff in the middle, that's the part that is the magic. And I know I've mentioned that before. And I also have talked about on a live a little bit about kind of the high priestess, about that magic in the middle. And I'm going to keep talking about it because that's really, really important. That is what allowed me to move through my experience as quickly as I did, is because I didn't force stuff into just two different things. And the other part of that is I know that ultimately wasn't about me. That was about the person dealing with whatever they're dealing with. And I have an anchor, a stone that I just kind of keep putting energy toward, and that is holding energy typically for anyone who has either frustrated me, has angered me, has come at me. And that's where I put that situation. And one of the things that I do, and I've talked about this in a whole video, but then I send that collective love, kindness, and empathy. And that goes to their energetic doorstep, and they can choose to take it or not. But then it's out of my head, it's out of my kind of rabbit hole of, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So that is how I've dealt with it. And there's obviously some other steps that are going on, like in the physical world, but in the invisible world, that is where I'm putting my energy. And I really hope that if you're still listening to this video, you can start to kind of see how to apply this to your own life, depending on whatever situation you're going through, because this is still our human existence. We are going to have those days or those moments or those people that are going to kind of try to throw us off course, regardless of what we've set as intentions for the day. What I will say is the more you set intentions and really lean into those, you have these situations less and less. I definitely think this was meant for me to be a learning experience. And I do think in some ways, by me forgetting about the respect piece for the intention, because I've been really, really good about setting that. My guides, the universe kind of allowed that to happen to kind of force the learning experience for me, and then by being on here for you as well. But I will say, hey guides, I'm good. I don't need more of that anymore. But that is what I have for you today. Please, whenever you're going through something hard, know what is supporting for you. Like for me, that the big deal is like physical touch, like a hug from somebody that I care about, that I trust. One of the ways you can get there is you can take the free quiz from the 5 love languages, and he does a really good job of kind of breaking things down into saying, depending on the situation you're in, these are the things that bring you comfort, that nurture yourself. And for me, one of my biggest is a physical touch from someone that I trust, that I care about. And it's something else, it might be something else different for you, and it might be different based on the situation. But the more you can start to know what brings you comfort, what brings you nurturing, you hit those bumps or upheavals, you will have the resources to move through them faster by tapping into those resources that nurture yourself. That is what I have for you guys today. Please, please, please give yourself a self-hug. Self-hug. And I will catch you on the next video. Just a quick reminder, I am seeing private clients. My descriptions do say about spiritual, but if you are going through upheaval, I am certainly willing to connect with you on that to help you get through your upheaval in your own life as well. Bye for now.